buying and selling properties, navigating the market, investment strategies, and more. Unlock the secrets to our success in the real estate game. Hey guys, good afternoon, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And welcome.
We are back.
Yeah, we're back. We're back at it again.
Episode
Number three.
We think. Let's not call it a number because we don't know what order they're going to come out in.
Okay, all right.
Episode.
But episode about
We're here again.
to debunk the myths of real estate. And I'm Lindsay West.
I'm Tamika Carter.
I am Tristan O'Donnell.
And we are real estate agents here in Atlanta, Georgia. And we are here to give you guys some insight on the day-to-day life, the vibes of real estate, all the ins and outs. And so we're taking this episode, Real Estate Myths Debunked, and we're going to dive on into it, okay? Because there's a lot of them, and we hear them all the time, right?
We do.
Okay.
All the time.
So anybody have let's start with the one, okay? You need 20%. This is probably my favorite one because a lot of people believe that you need 20% to put on a house, like a down payment.
Yeah.
And we all know that to be completely false.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you don't even need 5% or 3%.
Right.
Sometimes you need no percent.
Yes.
Zero, which we know about that.
We do.
And I guess let's talk about even if you do need some money, most people think it has to come from themselves, right?
Right.
Where can we get that money from?
There's lenders that offer 100% financing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then there are programs that will give you $10,000, $20,000 towards your
down
payment and closing cost.
Mm-hmm.
Family members
You can
are
get a
able to
gift.
gift.
Yes.
You can win the lottery and you can use that money as well.
You can also pull from your 401k or retirement savings funds.
Yes.
So even though
Sometimes if you pull, it depends, I guess, the rules of the specific 401k.
yes.
But sometimes it doesn't even have to be paid back, right?
Mhm.
So,
And there's no penalty if you're
Yeah.
using it to purchase a home sometimes.
Right.
So those are things that even though we hear the 20%, and let's talk about where that came from. The reason why there's that myth of the 20% is so that people could avoid things like PMI.
yes.
Right. But we now know in today's market in the modern ages, that's probably very old school, antiquated, probably back when the 70s or something, 90s, where people were wanting to get rid of PMI. And that's the only way.
70s and 90s was antiquated? I'm sorry.
She called me off.
I was like, oh.
I mean,
Okay,
I am the baby in the room. And I mean, hello. What we do? We don't do. What do we do from the 70s that we still do today in real estate? I'll wait.
Show houses.
That's it.
That's it. Show houses. Because we're
Okay.
not even putting people in our cars anymore. Well,
No.
I'm not.
Well, Tristan is.
I do sometimes. Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah, I don't.
I want the liability.
I
I'll
don't.
meet you there.
I don't. Well, I don't. But yeah, that's another story. So,
Anyway.
so things have changed a lot. And so, why was I saying that? Oh, PMI. People were trying to remove the PMI, and they thought they could automatically put down the 20% to remove the PMI, which is true.
Which is still true.
It's still true today, but there are loan products today that also offer you no PMI out the gate. And so I think that's just education and also learning today's market and how modern it is now and how things have changed.
And I think all of us have multiple stories where our client went and got a program and ended up getting $25,000.
Yep.
Yes.
Most recently, I mean, mine was end of last year, but she got $25,000 from City of Atlanta for
What?
purchasing within Atlanta.
Was that Invest Atlanta?
I don't remember if it was Invest.
But
I
we
think
can't
it
be dropping our
was.
secrets, Tamika.
Shout out Invest Atlanta.
Out Invest Atlanta.
Um,
Don't be dropping our secrets.
and sometimes they have money.
They know, friend. They know.
Sometimes they run out of money and they change that a little bit, but they're always there to kind of help homeowners.
Yes.
But 25,000,
That's
and
a lot. That's
then we got all of her closing costs covered by the seller.
yes.
And so she didn't have to bring anything to the closing.
Yeah.
yeah, that's awesome. Mm-hmm.
So, debunked. You don't need 20% down to buy a house, period.
Yes.
Okay. And in some cases, like Tristan, we've all had a case where the buyer came to the table with nothing.
Yes.
Because it's just savvy real estate, business. Like we all know the ins and outs, and so I think that's very important to note that it depends on who you work with too.
Yeah,
Like,
I
what
think
can they
like
offer?
a little hint to agents is you have to really know your client. Like they
Correct.
don't just come to you and say, "I want to see a house," and you show them a house. You have to know the ins and outs of their finances, even though
Mm-hmm.
you're
Right.
not the loan officer.
Mhm.
Oh
But you
gosh,
have to know the ins and outs of it so that you know how to best structure the deal for them
That's right.
and
yes.
what will work best for them.
That's
Yes.
right.
I
Mhm.
mean, because you want them to lay all their cards on the table and you be able to look at that deck of cards and say, hey, okay, you have this, this is what we can kind of pull you towards.
Right.
And so not only do you have to, like you said, be an agent, you also have to understand these loans to know where your client can fit in those loans.
And their
So,
finances.
and their
Right.
finances. So get in their
The
business, get
buyer's
in their pockets.
buyer's consultation.
And when we ask you
All the
questions
things.
about your credit score and how much money you have in your bank account, is because we don't want you to put 20% down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Want to get you the
So,
best deal possible.
so that is debunked. Okay.
Yeah.
Debunked. All right. So this one falls on the seller side of things. And it's that if you price your house high, you leave room for negotiation.
Not in this
Is
market.
this a, oh, okay. She just cut
I
it out
know a
the
lot of
gate.
clients right now are saying, like, let me list high because I know the buyers are going to come in and negotiate. And that's not the case. If you price it right, they will come in and offer you what it's worth. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you could
In today's
miss out
market.
on buyers
Hmm.
because you have priced it too high.
Right.
And one of the things that I tell my clients and tell, um, well, my clients is you have to also be aware of pricing what's the word I'm looking for? Matrix on Zillow and Trulia. So if you
Sure.
really want to list it 550, but you go 560, the people that can go 550 can't even see it. They've
That's
set their
right.
search for 550 and
Yep.
under,
That's
Yep.
and
right.
now you wanted to go 560 just because you wanted to get to
To the
550,
550.
and those people aren't even going to see it. So
Hmm.
you've lost out on
That's
Yes.
correct.
all of your buyers, a
Yes.
huge crowd of
Hmm.
resource of your buyers, because likely the people that are at 560, well, first of all, nobody sets in a search for 560, right?
560.
No, it's
No.
No,
It's
they're
normally increments of
550, 25.
25,000.
So
Yeah.
you're getting the people now, if you want 550 and you've priced 560, you're getting the people that are 600 and under, and they're looking for that's a different house,
That's
That's a
550
whole
to
different
600.
house.
And
Yeah.
so you're going to fall at the bottom of that tier to those buyers.
Yeah.
So
I
Yeah.
just posted about this yesterday. So y'all know about the condo.
Yes.
And he wanted to list high. At that time, he was still pricing it a little high. We were at
Yep.
265. That was in October, where
mhm.
the market, could really be okay with that, but he was
Yes.
still a little bit high. But because he priced it high, we just went on the contract Saturday.
Yeah.
And
And he
this is,
reduced it by 25,000 because he wouldn't listen and price it correctly until other agents came in and started pricing it correctly. They're getting it listed,
mhm.
Right.
they're getting it on the contract, and they've moved
They've
on with their
moved
lives,
on.
Yeah.
and we're still on the
And it was a
market.
beautiful place. I
Yeah.
showed it.
And
And then people are, the buyers are thinking, what's wrong with this property?
Right.
There's nothing wrong with it.
yeah.
He just listed it too high. So,
So you end
note to
up
sellers.
doing yourself a disservice because in this, like, also think about as a seller how much money you have wasted from October to now
Mortgage payment,
April
yeah.
April,
Mortgage
yeah.
of mortgage payments, tax payments,
HOAs.
insurance
HOAs, all
payments,
the, yes.
HOA payments, all
Mhm.
that money lost because of basically your ego,
That's
right?
right.
And
And he
so,
admitted it. He said,
yeah,
I should have listened to you in the
yeah,
beginning. I know. And
yeah,
because of that, now we've reduced it by $25,000.
You have
And
you
right.
guys
then
under
the
contract?
also the myth,
They're
going
under
back to the
yeah.
myth, yes, we are.
Yeah.
Going back to the myth of what's wrong with this property. Why is
Right.
why has
Yeah.
it been sitting on the market for so long?
And now, especially in Atlanta, especially in a place that like where your property was
Hmm.
located, which is a very great part of town,
Yeah.
amazing location,
Right.
people are absolutely going to question buyers, potential buyers are going to absolutely question why
Right.
this unit has been on the market since October.
Correct.
That's almost 6 months or more
Almost.
than
It was
6 months.
almost,
Yeah.
yeah. No,
Jeez.
it was
And there was
really
nothing
close.
wrong
There
with
was
it.
nothing
Yeah,
wrong with
nothing
it.
wrong with it.
Nothing
I
at all.
will sometimes let my sellers price high. If I'm saying 550 and they want to go 600, we're gonna talk about that. That's
Yeah.
we can't do that.
Yeah.
But I understand sellers needs to feel like they've tried at the price that they really
And
feel
they
in
haven't
their
left anything
heart
on
and
the
their
table.
mind. Yeah.
Yes.
But I always put a contingency that I'm okay going 10,000 higher than I'm suggesting.
Mm-hmm.
But if we are on the market for XYZ amount of time,
Then
like
we have to.
this is our next move back so
Right.
that they at least feel like they've tried
We've all
We all know
tried.
that. You don't
Yeah.
want to lose too much, and you can't
Correct.
sell a house for too much. You can't sell it for too low.
Yeah.
And if you price it at 550 and you get offers, the immediate mind goes to, I knew I should have priced it higher. And
Yes.
that's not the case.
That's not the
not the
case.
You got the offers because
Yeah.
it was priced where it was, but
Right.
there's mental gymnastics that goes through sellers' minds.
Yeah.
agree with that.
FOMO.
Talk about
Because
that.
it wasn't priced
Yeah.
too high when we priced it in October.
But now
the
comps have
market
changed.
shifted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It shifted. And so that's what happened.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't that high.
And
Right.
we definitely couldn't foresee interest rates dropping as low as they did come November, December of last
Right,
year.
right,
So
right.
that all those things kind of play. I mean, we had
Yeah.
the same situation with my listing right
Mhm.
now that you guys know about, that we were $50,000 over the actual price it should have been listed at.
Right.
And while we did get traction at the $50,000 higher point, we didn't get any
Nobody could
offers.
offers.
See
They
the-
couldn't
they
see
couldn't.
the
They couldn't.
value,
But
the
you
difference.
you let them try at that price.
Yes.
Right.
And you changed the price quickly.
Within
and
a
they
week,
agreed
yes.
they knew they needed to change the price.
Yes.
quickly.
Yes.
And then you're under contract.
And then now we're under contract with two
Multiple
backup
offers.
offers.
Right
Right.
away.
Multiple
Yeah.
offers.
We
Yeah.
reduced
Pricing.
we went
Price
under
it right.
contract.
Price it right.
Yeah.
Don't waste
Price it
time.
right.
I mean, you can obviously waste time, and even if you had money to waste,
Sure.
you can do that, right? Like if you just don't care about whatever, maybe you own it outright or whatever.
Mhm.
But the real thing is that you're also messing with the psyche of the buyers
Buyer.
because now they're thinking something is wrong with this property. Why is it sitting? I don't even want to see it. My realtor is going to probably say something's wrong with this property. We shouldn't even go see it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So yeah.
Highest amount of showings is statistically, there's a chart that shows it's in the first really 2 weeks. You
That's
can maybe
right. First
squeeze
14
that to
days.
3, but after that,
Yes.
it's not getting the same
declines.
views and
It's
everything.
not.
So you
That's
don't
right.
want to wait 30 days to drop the price
Correct.
if you're priced right. I mean, if you're priced high, you want to do it strategically.
Strategically have a plan.
And
that's
you're right.
have a
That
plan.
that was the case for this one because he owns it outright.
He
So
was able to
kept
play a
saying,
little
"I'm in
bit.
hurry. It's okay."
Yeah.
Until it
until
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 you
it
got
wasn't
tired of paying
Yeah.
that HOA
Yeah.
payment because even
Yeah.
though you own it outright, you still paying the HOA and you're still paying taxes.
And what does that mean for us as the realtors that's trying to get it sold?
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
And now we're having to explain to them
people
right. There's
and tell them that there's really nothing wrong with this.
nothing wrong with
you
this,
know.
yeah.
And then I think they even go in with even more binoculars, right?
Oh, I agree.
Which you have experienced. Like they go in looking because there
For-
must be something. You know, they're even questioning it more so.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Price it right.
Debunked.
That's debunked.
Debunked. Price it right from the beginning, guys. Let's get it under contract, get it sold, and you move on with your life.
Yes. All right, let's talk about another one. Open houses are essential. Is it a myth or debunk?
Essential is the word. That's what makes it debunked.
Okay.
And y'all know I'm a big statistics person.
Yes.
I look at this, and it's like 80% of buyers or 70% or whatever it is find their homes online and they start searching online.
That's
and then
right.
it's like the other comes from like friends and
Mm-hmm.
FMLS and their agent. And the lowest percentage, one of the lowest percentages is
Open houses.
Has it worked before? Yes, but it's a very small percentage. So
Yep.
It's very
have
small.
one. You don't need to have 12.
Right.
You don't need to think that your agent is doing a horrible job
because
they had
they're not.
one open house. And really the open house is best time for like maybe the first weekend on the market because that's when you're
Sure.
getting other people. 2 or 3 weeks in, you don't need to have another one unless you're doing a huge price drop. And
Right.
and serious buyers that have agents come in to open houses now. Again, that's not every scenario.
Sure.
And I've definitely sold things by having an open house. And
Yes.
somebody came in, they had an agent. The agent called me like, my client came to your open house. It wasn't even in their price point, but they want to write an offer, and they did. And we closed and we made it work. So
Right.
there are very small, there are instances where it does work, but let's not put all of our eggs in that basket. There's
Sure.
so many other things
Components
that can be
like
done.
pricing it right.
Yes.
If you price it right, you might not even need an open
Marketing.
house.
Yeah. Market. Yeah, there's so many other ways. of
Marketing,
marketing.
Yeah.
presentation, you
Yeah.
know, the overall upkeep, the overall condition of the home, those things hold way more value than the open house. And I think the open house is an accessory. It's like dessert. Like I saw Cher.
I like that.
You know,
I like
it's,
it.
you know what I'm saying? Cher had a little Instagram tidbit that was on, and she said men are like a dessert. Now, no shade to the men, y'all, because, you know, as a married woman, and I believe in them, okay?
Look at Rick.
House of member.
Rick, what you gonna say? It's all about you, babe. Okay, I got you, babe. Share.
You better.
See how I did that?
You better.
Okay. But she said they're like a dessert. And so I want y'all to kind of think of open houses as a dessert,
Yeah.
right? Because while they're great and we all love
Right.
dessert and
Sure.
we will tear it down,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, you don't have to have dessert.
Yeah.
And if
Right.
you
It's not
do,
filling
and
up.
if the
Yeah.
main course and the appetizer and all the other things were on point, the dessert is like a cherry on top. It's
Yeah.
literally not needed.
It's not
So,
necessary.
while we do encourage them, and I think a lot of times they're actually better for your agent in terms of marketing their business and
That's
probably
right.
getting potential new clients. If the house is priced right, if the house is in a great condition, if the location is great, all the things are working in its favor, it's
Yes.
going to sell.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And that open house will just be extra.
And that's a piece that I share with my sellers. Like, I know you guys want to do open houses, but our goal is for the agents to submit showing requests to get the
Yes.
serious buyers in here
Yes.
to preview the property. Because if we're not getting those showings, then we're just hosting an
open
house,
house.
open.
Right.
Like, there's really,
Yeah.
no real
Yeah.
necessarily any traction going on there.
Yeah, and I guess I mean, in my mindset, I like the law of attraction in the sense of somebody who really wants this
Yeah.
house is going to hell and high water. They don't need an open house
They
to
do
see
not.
your house
They've
if they
seen it. They
really
want it.
want your
Yes,
house.
they've
They're
seen it.
going to get in that house, period.
Yes. It's
So-
syndicated on
It's everywhere.
so many websites.
So many
Yeah.
websites. So, yes, I mean, yeah, let's do that. So, open houses are dessert. Okay.
Dessert.
Yeah.
All right.
I like that.
So myth is they're not essential, and I like what Tristan said. It's not. It's the word that they use. Open houses are essential. Open houses are dessert. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go. So it says. Let's see here. There's so many good ones. The best deals are. Let's go with the best deals are foreclosures. Ooh, why did you had?
I'm
you
gonna
had
let y'all
that.
take that on.
Well,
Well,
okay.
first of all,
best
there aren't
deals-
as many foreclosures.
That's what I'm
as
about to
there
say.
Used to be,
Yes.
and that is because of the mortgage meltdown. I'm gonna go back in the statistics. Everything.
Yes.
The mortgage meltdown happened. These banks all lost a lot.
Right.
And
And she's referring to 2007, 2008,
Yeah,
the Great Recession that they
Yes.
call it.
they were not prepared for that. They weren't prepared for everyone losing their house. They had no
Short
process
sales
in
and all
place
that.
to try to help homeowners, and they lost a lot of money.
Yep.
And now they actually have processes in place.
Yep.
That's right.
So they have more qualified buyers buying
Yes.
who are able to keep these houses and not go
Right.
into foreclosure because they're
Right.
more qualified based on all that.
They're doing modifications, or they're working with you. If you call and you're behind, they're more willing to work with you. So there just aren't as many foreclosures. And you can actually sell now because there's so much equity. It's specifically in Georgia. There's so much equity in a lot of the houses.
Yes.
You can actually, a lot of people have a lot of equity.
So they don't
you
even
can
have
actually sell, even if you're behind and you can't make payments. You actually can sell first and not lose any money and end up with a foreclosure on your credit. That you just sell it first and avoid the foreclosure.
Yeah.
And
So
they're risky.
they're risky, and it's just a different market. I think there was a time where foreclosure again and short sales, that was back in the day, y'all. Like we got to
back in
come
the
to
day.
2024.
Back in the late 2000s, early 2000s, back
Early
old times.
old times, olden days. So, now in 2024, people have equity. They don't have to short sale. They don't have to foreclosure. So we're not seeing them as often. And so therefore, while they could be a good opportunity back in the day, in today's day, those opportunities are no longer that much there. So
Yeah.
thoughts on that, Tamika?
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you guys on it.
Yeah.
Like I agree. I think that back in the day, there were good deals with foreclosures, and we were hopping in the cars to go get those
Go
good
get 'em
deals
quick.
because people wanted the foreclosures and they were okay with doing some work to them. But there's few far and in between right now. Like, how often do you guys see foreclosures?
I don't even
Just
see
want it
them.
forever,
I do
honestly.
not.
I
mean,
haven't seen
Think
them.
about the inventory first
Yeah.
of all. Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, the equity.
The
so before
equity.
you go into foreclosure, you're probably gonna sell it, right?
Right, right. And I mean, I guess if you go down to the steps on what is
the
it,
courthouse
Tuesday,
steps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you can go grab you one.
Yeah.
But we're not doing that.
We'll have a whole separate
That's a whole nother.
Another
episode
topic.
on that
Yeah.
because it's not as easy as you think.
Yeah.
Not as
I
easy
used
as
to
you
work
think.
for a company, and they paid me to go down there
And
and
get-
just wave my hand and bid on bid
Stop,
on
really?
houses for them.
Did
Oh,
you
you
ever
didn't
win
want to talk
anything?
about
Yeah.
that in
Yeah.
Oh, we should.
in
That's
your
another
past
episode.
life.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That
You were
was
supposed to give that up to us. Instead, you told us. But that's okay. We gonna get back to that. Don't you worry.
Yeah, man.
Renovation or myth? Uh, I said renovation or myth. Y'all
Wait,
weren't
wait.
gonna correct
I
me.
was waiting. I was waiting on you to fix it.
Okay, it's
Renovation.
it's myth or debunk.
Or truth.
What are we
Truth or
saying the whole
myth?
time? Have we been saying myth or debunked?
No, we've just been saying myths. Oh, I don't know.
And debunked.
Myth
Well,
and
truths.
we've
Myth,
been
truth.
all
Let's say
wrong.
truth. The renovation
Okay.
guarantees a
Myth
higher
or
sales price.
Myth or truth on that?
That's a myth.
Mm,
That's not a guarantee.
that's right. Because why? Why is it not a guarantee? Because why?
Some people over improve.
That's what I was
And
thinking.
I've
like
had a
it's
listing, they have over improved,
Improve.
way over. And it was things, there are things that don't
Y'all being
give
nice.
value
value.
to the
There are things that are maintenance. So people are like, I'm going to get a new roof so I can sell for higher. It's not that you're getting a new roof because it will value higher on an appraisal.
Right.
It will value higher in a buyer's mind, and
Mind.
they are more willing to give you the price that you've asked for, but that's not increasing value. Getting a new HVAC doesn't increase value.
Right.
We all know the biggest renovation that you can do to get you value is kitchen.
Kitchen,
Think about where you spend the
bathrooms.
most amount of your time as a seller, as a buyer.
Right.
It is kitchens. People care about their master primary,
Bathroom.
excuse me, primary bathrooms. And things like outdoor space. So
Yeah.
screened in porches and decks and things like that. But changing the color of your wall doesn't add value.
Yeah, I
Putting in
mean,
new windows doesn't.
and I know you guys said over. I think that was cute that y'all said over improved, but some of y'all be improving with no taste.
Oh my God.
Okay, let's be very clear. Like y'all decided to get a new kitchen, but that kitchen is not cute.
I saw a few.
Like it's hideous actually. And so let's before you do kitchens, bathrooms,
Yeah.
landscaping, all that, get a professional opinion of someone you know, of a a licensed agent, maybe an interior designer. Get some, especially if this is not your forte. Like, you have to do the homework and not just throw anything up there.
Yeah.
Because just because it's a brand new kitchen and it's ugly, it's not gonna do anything.
Okay, be real about it.
Be
Like,
real. I mean, let's keep it a buck.
And you should be able to personalize your kitchen, like obviously your personality and things like that, but be ready when it's time to sell
to update it.
unpersonalize it a little bit.
Right.
Or make it a little more neutral because
Yes.
the buyer doesn't want to envision their life as your life.
No.
Exactly.
They want to envision their life in this house. So there's a
Exactly.
way to do it to your own personality now, but also know that there are easy changes you can make when it's time to sell.
Yep.
Right.
I will also say my clients, I let them know when after they've sold, if they ever want to do any type of updates, to reach out to me.
Please.
And they'll call me
Yes.
and say, all right, I want to do my kitchen, my bathroom, I want to do XYZ. And I'm like, let's do this. Well, first of all, changing out your window that's working for just a different window is not going to add value.
Right.
But your kitchen will, your primary bathroom will, and then I run comps for them, letting them know like this is what you bought it for.
Right.
If you do this kitchen, here's the new comp, so they know. All right, my value's going to go up. If I am at $400 now, it'll be worth $475.
Correct.
And don't spend $75,000 on the kitchen. Like do
Right.
a kitchen, do it nice.
Yes.
Don't go cheap and crazy, but also don't throw some exotic
Design.
quartzy thing in there that is
Yeah.
like turtle shell quartz. I don't know.
Yeah.
That would kinda be
Oh,
cute, maybe
and the fact that you said that, I know I'm in your head. I know where you're going with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And also like building the biggest, the biggest thing with all of the high end stuff in a neighborhood that won't support.
Right.
Right.
That
like you
price,
can't have the
yeah. You
nicest house on the
Cannot-
street.
Correct.
You cannot have,
Correct.
like, I want to say that again for the people in the back. You cannot have the nicest house in the street, neighborhood, block. Okay.
Yep.
Like, pay attention. Read the
man.
room. Read the neighborhood. Like, do your.
Yeah. I know someone that's going through that right now. I mean,
too.
all the high end stuff.
Yeah.
Wrong neighborhood.
Right.
Had it been across the street,
Yes.
down the block, you would have gotten what you expected to get.
Yeah.
But because of that, you reduced it by 200,000. But we told you not to do that,
Right.
and you did it anyway.
You had something like that, and we won't nameless.
I'm not either.
We were named nameless. We're not going to,
Right.
but we,
But we're,
yeah, that's why it's important to consult with someone and
That's right,
ask
that knows.
questions that knows the business, knows your area, knows your area. And if you even don't want to ask someone, get to know your area. Look at the houses that are selling. Look at the comps that are
go to the open
yeah,
houses.
go
that
to the
are-
Open houses, right.
go to
and that's
the
exactly those are
dessert
people.
open
Go in there,
houses.
yes.
Yes.
Right.
And
Go
get
in there to just
ideas.
see and get
Yeah,
ideas.
especially of the houses that you think are really nice, go look at them and say, "Hey, like,
Right.
this is nice,
But
whatever."
guys, what happens when you give them all of that? You tell them in the beginning, here are the comps for this neighborhood, but then I'm still gonna do it. Like at that point, I mean, it's your
You can
hard
lead
head
horse
make a
to
soft
water,
ass.
you
but you
can't
can't
make
make 'em
it
drink
drink. Is
it.
that it?
Y'all real
all
cute.
those-
Mhm.
A
And then
hard
you're
head make a
wondering-
soft ass.
That's
Yes.
it.
You gonna feel it.
You're gonna feel it.
Like,
But you're looking at us like, why isn't it selling?
yeah.
Yeah.
And we just
talked
have
about
to,
this.
we have to pivot.
Yeah.
Pivot.
And then, I mean, just be prepared to spend that money to kind of undo what you did.
Right.
I mean, that's another thing is like, I guess nothing's permanent, right? Nothing lasts forever. You can always run your money up and do it right.
Yeah. And if you're gonna be an investor, I mean, at some point you're gonna take a loss.
Oh,
And I would like to add, don't throw every fad in the house. Like there
Ooh.
are trends, and that's great, and we love them. And
accent
we
walls,
watch HGTV and all of that.
Barn
but let's
doors.
not
barn doors.
put all of them into one house. Like
Mhm.
all of those trends.
Yep.
Like
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Agreed.
I want to say accent walls and barn doors
I'm
again.
saying I don't want to see another barn door.
Not another one. They're
Yeah, like,
gone.
I'm over it.
Back in the day.
Yeah, it's
okay.
It's done. Mhm.
All right. So, so it depends. So renovations do garner a higher price, right? So we do agree with that, but it depends on the type of renovation, the
Yes.
quality of renovation, and it also means don't over improve.
That's right.
All right.
All right.
Cool. All right.
debunked.
Debunked.
Is it?
Debunked.
Did we kind of.
Yeah.
debunked.
Yeah.
All right. So that was a wrap on our myths and truths, I guess you could say, or debunk the
Debunked.
myths, the myths,
Myth.
Myths.
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 There's so many more though.
There's so many more. And if you guys have some that you are thinking about, please drop them in the comments, drop them in the DMs, whatever you got to do to get it to us, because we would love to answer your questions about the different myths out there. Also, do us a favor, please like, share, and subscribe. We want you guys to tell everyone you know about us and our conversations. We thank you so much for being here today, and I hope to see you guys on the next episode.
Guys.